What is a leadership team? We talk about leadership teams all the time, or at least I do. Would you like to know how to spot a good one from a distance? In this video, I will discuss the different positions, the minimum requirements for a leadership team, and what you can expect from them, and yourselves if you're on the leadership team. So a leadership team is crucial to your organization. Sometimes I see that there is an owner that does not have a leadership team to help him or her, or that there is a leadership team but they really don't meet together very often, or that you have a well-established leadership team but it's dysfunctional. If you want to take the next step in your business, you have got to have an amazing leadership team. So I'm going to cover the different positions, what I believe is the main requirement for the leadership team, and some of the things that you can expect from them. I hope you're jamming, because every company needs this. So who are the people that are typically on a leadership team? Well, let's go through these one by one. So to start out, the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer. This is the most senior ranking officer in the company, leads the board of directors, leads the leadership team if you don't have a board, and is really responsible for the executing, enabling the entire organization to have the right resources and people to perform excellent work. The Chief Operating Officer is in charge of the day-to-day operations of the business and will implement strategies and tactics to achieve business goals. Now, I'll get into this a little bit later on, but every company should have a visionary and an integrator. The visionary is the person that is doing the thinking, the big relationships, the partners, the entrepreneurial ideation, right? The integrator is the person who builds the machine, runs the business, and makes sure that things are happening. So these two will definitely be on your leadership team. You might also have a chief marketing officer who is in charge of sales and marketing. I've also heard of CTOs, the Chief Technology Officer, who oversees the organization's information and technology systems. The Chief People Officer, who is in charge of human resources and all of the people development systems. The Chief Legal Officer, or the General Counsel, and there are many more. But the bottom line is, I have seen historically the best leadership teams, including the CEO, and the president or COO, and then your director or the chief officer over marketing, legal, and operations. That's the minimum that I would recommend in any organization. In construction, I recommend a CEO, the COO, your director of operations, your director of finance and legal, and your director of marketing and sales as a minimum. Now, the one thing that I will say, if you listen to some of the best business books in the industry, you will know that every business must take care of their marketing and sales. Every business must take care of their risk and their legal aspects. They must take care of their operations and how they actually produce a product. But they also have to have representation for the product itself. So don't forget that. In construction, your product is your foreman and your superintendents and your field. You are selling the construction of buildings or infrastructure or whatever it is. That is your product. So if you have somebody on your leadership team, hey, we need to cover legal, app covered, okay? We need to cover risk, app covered, okay? We need to cover marketing and sales, covered, right? But you don't have somebody on your leadership team that actually knows your operations and actually knows the product. I believe that that's a mistake. So in a construction company, you must also make sure that you have good representation for your operations and for your product. So you're probably wondering, what are they supposed to do? And so clarity in this aspect is key. Just like I'm clear with everybody on this channel. I love it when you subscribe and share this channel. It helps the algorithm, it helps us. It helps us pay for the work that we do to make these videos, and it's improving our industry. So that's clarity. That's an example. So if you want your leadership team to work well, we have to have clarity on who should be there, which we've already talked about, and we should also talk about what we should expect. So step number one, setting vision and strategy. This group defines the company's vision, mission, and strategic goals with the boots on the ground people, and they develop long-term and short-term strategies. Now, one thing I want to say, when you're doing your yearly or your quarterly business planning, you cannot sit in an ivory tower or ivory castle or in your conference room by yourself and set these goals and these strategies alone. You are a classical management company if you do that. If you want to be a lean company, you will involve your organization, your frontline workers, your mid-level leaders, and your department heads and ask them, hey, what are our biggest problems? What do you think are some solutions? And let's set some goals for the year or for the quarter together. That way they weigh in, they buy in, and everyone can actually implement. I can't tell you how many times I've heard of, none of the companies that work with me, but I've heard of companies sitting in an office, this is what we want to do, push that out to the organization, and then it just falls flat, and they don't get any of it done. So your leadership team is in charge of this, but it must connect to the people, the frontline managers, the boots on the ground. Second, the leadership team is responsible for decision making. That's why there must be some connection between the leadership team or a lot of connection to the field in a construction company so that the real-time feedback can be paired with the leadership team. These folks have the money and the decision-making power. These folks know what needs to be done. We can't have them disconnected. Again, if that's happening, you are a classical management company. You are not a lean company. A lean company will connect those, and the leadership team will make decisions in line with those feedback loops and the information that they're getting from the field. This team will provide organizational oversight, will manage the company structure, the business itself, the leaders of the departments or the functional groups, and make sure that everything is functioning. To do this, that team must know the overall structure and must know the systems and processes that the company uses so that they can constantly analyze their effectiveness, reduce waste, create efficiency, and make sure we have organizational flow. Obviously, this team will participate in the financial strategy of the company and will manage the finances and the budgets and this is very important, your overall revenue. So you will monitor not only your balance sheet, but your cash flow statement and your profit and loss. And this team will make sure to monitor cash flow projections and make sure that the business has enough money, enough backing, enough bonding, and enough lines of credit to stay in business out ahead. This team will really monitor the financial strategy of the business. They will also manage risks, be involved with people development, and provide support for the people development group and for the chief people officer to make sure that what we expect is being paced with the support we're giving our people. This team will take an active role in talent development and in recruiting and hiring top talent. They will keep their eye on the ball with the product and always be researching technology and always be encouraging innovation. They will be checking with customers to make sure that we are delivering at a high level for our customers. And one of the most important things, they will always stay out ahead and make sure that we are steering away from icebergs, and they will be adapting and changing to current market conditions. Now, a leadership team, let me just say a couple of things. A leadership team must, within the team, be a part of those 5 behaviors. So they must know each other, trust each other, have healthy conflict, set goals together, hold each other accountable, and perform. There's a great book on this, The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. The leader of that leadership team must build the team, have hard conversations, manage that leadership team, manage, mentor, and coach them, make sure they have great meetings, and scale clarity. And then here's the big one. If that leadership team is working well, they will build their own team and the team of the whole organization, meaning every other team in the organization. They will create organizational clarity for where are we going and why are we doing it. They will scale that clarity and that communication 7 times over with each individual person, and they will reinforce that clarity through human systems. And so a leadership team will not only need to have the right positions, the right representation, the right focuses. They will need to be cohesive within that team according to the 5 behaviors. They will also be accountable for the things that I mentioned in the list, and they will be responsible for making sure everybody knows where we're going and what we're doing so the people in the organization can align with the how. So they have to be a great and a cohesive team to start. And this is the most important thing I'll share with you. Whatever the leader and the leadership team does, however they act, and whatever they model, will be what the organization does. That is a fact. Whatever the leadership team and leader is, will be what is represented in the company. So they have to be high performing, they have to be cohesive. I'm going to link you in the description below to a couple of my favorite books. The Motive, The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, and I will also, like I've done in other videos, link you to the 6 types of working geniuses to better help you pair that leadership team. Oh, I'll also give you 2 more. There's 2 great books that will educate you in the first chapters of both of the books. One is called Traction. The other one is called Beyond Entrepreneurship 2.0. You are going to love it. If you have any questions, reach out to us at Elevate. We do business consulting and organizational transformation efforts all the time. I hope you've enjoyed this video. On we go.